Good morning. Calendar week 17. Homo faber, or how to boil an egg. I was looking through the photos from April's gone by at the Barracks. It's actually very unusual not to have snow at all in the month. May with all her darling buds might be spring proper, but a week of frosts next month would also be a thing which is possible. So with this in mind, and if I were listening to my own advice, I'd most definitely be exercising restraint and patience in the garden. That hasn't really been the case though, has it? The 2 tons of stable manure that magically arrived a week ago needed to be wheelbarrowed to the back, ready for the pumpkin patch. And then, while I was there, I decided to run over everything with the choppy chop to give myself a head start when the ice saints had passed. And then I thought I'd take a chance on getting some carrots in the ground early, so I sowed, I think, 5 rows of them. It might have been 6, but probably 5. The leeks, which started off in pots, should be totally frost hardy by now, so it seemed like a good idea to pop a row of those into the roots bed alongside. And everyone knows that when you sow carrots, you should intercrop them with onions. And I happen to have a couple of packs of onions, so they all went in as well. I have another tray of leeks and 2 more of onion sets, and 2 more of onions all saved from seed coming along nicely. And everyone knows that 2 rows of leeks are at least twice as good as one, and there isn't really an upper limit of how many onions you can cook in a year. And even if there was, you could pickle the rest of them, and that just makes for a happier sort of winter. I put 7 rows of potatoes in as well. So yeah, the constant torment of being way far behind where I should be, and the urge to get my hands in the dirt as soon as the sun starts to warm my back are as omnipresent as always, but rationally, I guess the year is going okay so far. If I have enough potatoes, onions, leeks and beans on the go, and I did a few dozen pots of beans as well, 8 seeds per pot, then I guess the year is actually off to a decent enough start, and I should probably spend some time de-stressing my publisher and actually sit at the keyboard and produce something they can use. Meanwhile, Substack has launched a new recipes feature. Now, I never post nor recommend the use of recipes. Cooking good, healthy food starts with looking at the freshest and tastiest vegetables you have available to you, and then using your intuition and excellent taste to create something unique every time you turn the biogas on. But I wanted to test the format, and everyone knows you should make stock, and everyone should know how to make stock. So here you go, stock but the posh stuff, so French. Here follows a recipe for bouillon de légumes that I can't see because of the way the Substack formatting works, but I hope it looks nice. Anyway, that was fun. I don't think I need to do it again though. I'm not really allowed to put anything in the book that I previously published on the newsletter, which is totally understandable, but also in the book I'm also about the basic tools that you can take and try out and build on. There won't be many recipe type things in there either, just basics. And there isn't anything much more basic than stock, I guess. I'll have to pimp it up a bit for print. It's a weird process trying to decide what counts as basics and what is just patronising. For example, I think that there's a way to shovel a pile of horse manure that's probably worth telling people about. It seems weird to show a better way of handling the spade, but honestly, I think that the way I did it when I first got here, the way that everyone does it, is much harder work than the way that I do it now. Should I go that far down the rabbit hole? I'm reminded of one of the most successful cookery books in the UK, potentially the most successful of all time, which was Delia Smith's Complete How to Cook, which famously started off with How to Boil an Egg. The oh-so-clever and knowing press attempted ridicule, but it turned out that the people had become so disconnected with food that they bought it by the millions and went away and genuinely learned how to cook. Of course, the book didn't stop at the egg. I think it might have also been the book which gave the world Delia's iconic and world-making pancake. Nor was that the point of it. It was zeitgeisty and written from a place of love, and, as it turns out, necessary. The publishing industry, no one really knows what the zeitgeist is, because to interpret the zeitgeist you have to be ever so slightly in front of it, and as with all predictions about the future, they are considerably easier to know once you get there. Everything else is pure chance. Still, I do genuinely believe that the horrors of the world to come are best approached with a good toolbox, and maybe I should spend a little more time looking at the wisdom contained in How to Boil an Egg. Let's see what sort of a state we're all in by next Monday. Much piratey love. Your loving Pirate Ben. XO. XO.